Chapter 63. Ti-Zhao licked his dry lips and picked up a piece from the table. Lin Ting's pupils instantly widened. It was a white piece. Kai-Zhao, I can only tell lies. Please don't believe me. Lin Ting shouted in her heart, hoping for a miracle that would let Kai-Zhao hear her. She was terrified, afraid that TXIA's trust in her would lead to his demise. Don't believe me, Lin Ting repeated in her mind. Ti-Zhao pondered for a moment without asking a question, instead pulling out a black piece. Lin Ting frowned tightly. She knew that whether it was the black piece or the white piece, she could only give the opposite answer. Ti-Zhao slowly raised the black piece to Lin Ting's eyes and said, Lin Ting, tell me. Lin Ting covered her mouth with her hand, feeling like she was about to break down. She didn't want to tell Ti-Zhao. This is a white piece. But if she didn't lie, the mechanism on her glasses would trigger. Ti-Zhao seemed to sense something and said lightly, Don't be nervous. Lin Ting, keep your mind clear. It's not over yet. After hearing this, Lin Ting nodded in despair. Once she felt her emotions stabilizing, Ti-Zhao asked, Lin Ting, tell me, what color would old Lu say this piece is? Eh? Lin Ting and old Lu were both taken aback, and the pigman rolled his eyes. Listen to my question, Lin Ting. I'll ask again. What color would old Lu say this piece is? Old Lu. Lin Ting glanced back at old Lu, her mind racing. A cold sensation from her glasses indicated that she was telling a lie. Since the pigman had never lied so far, it meant his rules were absolute. So old Lu would be telling the truth. In that case, old Lu would say this piece was black. Just as Lin Ting was about to blurt out black, she suddenly remembered she was the one lying, so she couldn't tell Ti-Zhao black. Even if old Lu said black, she had to say white. In that case, wouldn't everything revert back to square one? The key to this game wasn't with old Lu, but with herself. Lin Ting bit her lip and finally said the two words with great difficulty, white. At that moment, she felt as if she was strangling the truth, and any truth that passed through her lips would ultimately become a lie. Old Lu, frustrated, covered his forehead, feeling that everything was over. White? Huh. Kai-Zhao turned his head as if examining the piece in his hand, then smiled and said, I see. The pigman pondered for a moment. What will you do now, Ti-Zhao? The person you trust most just told you the piece in your hand is white. What will you choose? Ti-Zhao slowly set the black piece aside and picked up another white piece. He extended the white piece forward, offering it to the pigman. Oh, you've made your choice, the pigman asked. This time, Pian, having learned it from experience, deliberately kept his tone flat. This way, Ti-Zhao wouldn't be able to determine the color of the piece in his hand based on the pigman's words. Yes, I've made my choice. Ti-Zhao nodded, saying, But it's not the one in your hand. That white piece belongs to you. What? Ignoring the pigman, Ti-Zhao held the black piece tightly and said, The black piece in my hand is life, while the white piece in your hand is death. The game is over. As everyone stared in astonishment, Ti-Zhao slowly removed his eye mask. Everything was exactly as he had envisioned. For him, the only uncomfortable thing was that after wearing the mask for so long, he was somewhat sensitive to the light. You? The pigment rumbled with excitement. What kind of joke is this? Ti-Zhao opened his eyes and looked at the pigman, saying, I bet my life with you. How could it be a joke? He then pointed at Lin Ting and old Lu. Let them go. A bet is a bet. The pigman stared wide-eyed for a long moment, then sighed in frustration, taking out a remote control from the drawer and aimlessly pressing a button. Old Lu and Lin Ting heard a click, and the mechanism on their glasses was released. They quickly removed the deadly contraptions and tossed them aside. Kai-Zhao, you really are something, old Lu shouted excitedly, stepping forward to slap Ti-Zhao on the back. Did you win the lot? What kind of luck is this? Luck? Huh? Kai-Zhao shook his head. This time, I didn't rely on any luck. The pigman simply underestimated me. The pigman silently turned his head and said, I underestimated. Exactly. Keizhao adjusted his clothes, slowly stood up. I've told you before that smart people don't rely on luck, but you didn't take it too hard. So you're saying? The pigman stood up in disbelief. Everything that just happened was all part of your plan. Yes, Tijon nodded. My strategy was very simple. As long as you picked one black piece and one white piece for me, I would win 100 guaranteed, with no chance of unexpected outcomes. The pigman's eyes widened, his pupils dilating. This was the first time since becoming a pig that he had lost so completely. To make it easier for you to pick one black and one white, I even specifically told you. Once you pick, I'll be better able to choose. T-shirt reached out, picking up two black pieces and two white pieces from the table, holding them as if simulating the pigman's thought process at that moment. You must have struggled with this for a while, realizing that no matter how you chose, giving me one black and one white was the safest option. An incredulous voice came from behind the pigman's mask. You even calculated that. Should I say you were too cautious or too careless? Kaijal weighed the two white pieces in his hands. If you had trusted your first instinct and handed me two white pieces directly, I would be dead right now. The pigman fell silent, glaring at Kaijal with resentment. Kaijal continued. When I held pieces of both colors, all I had to do was ask question, like I did earlier, and I'd know the color of the piece in my hand with 100 certainty. Then King quickly thought it through after hearing this. Moments later, her mouth dropped open in realization. TXIA's earlier question was incredibly clever. He asked, what color would the other person say this is? Regardless of whether the person he asked was telling the truth or lying, as long as Keisha held the black piece, they would all say white. When he asked Lin King, she knew that old Lu's answer would be black, but due to her own lying nature, she had to say white. When he asked old Lu, he would directly repeat Lin King's answer, white, even if, hypothetically, Tijor received black as the answer. He would immediately know that the other piece he held was the correct one.